Fight on, family. Preston's Paradise here, joined by my guy, Paulie Walnuts. And it is week 2, baby. The USC Trojans coming off of an extravagant win against Missouri State in the Coliseum, 73-13, man. And this week, got a special week, man. We got Clay Helton coming on back, the old ball coach. We're going to see how the reception is in the Collie. I don't know if it's going to be cheers. I don't know if it's going to be boos. I don't know if it's going to be tears. But Paulie, man, how you feeling about last week? How you feeling about this game?
You know what? First of all, happy Saturday to everyone. Wake up, start getting that breakfast going. Get those scrambled eggs and potatoes, and start getting ready for some college football today, man. Because you know what? This is the one year we have no idea who's going to win, what's going to happen, and it makes it for an exciting season. And as far as Clay Helton coming, I don't know what to expect. We got Trojan fans beating each other up in the stands, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea what's going to happen.
That's something I just don't get, bro. How is it like? It's like so much like fans hating on fans, bro. How are we rooting for the same team? Yeah. We're here for the same cause. Yeah. We're in the same colors. Yeah. We're throwing haymakers in the stands, man.
Yeah, but then on top of that, it's usually two like kind of overweight kind of guys going at it, falling over the chair. Man, this guy had like a chokehold, like a UFC chokehold on this one guy, and I'm like, wow, dude, it's getting intense up in those areas. Bro. It kind of reminded me of the old days when the Raiders played there, man. It was crazy.
I don't understand it, bro. But I mean, it is what it is. This is Los Angeles, man. It's the way shit goes.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, what's going on? We got Kristen, we got Trojan Blade, we got my boy Gabe.
Trojan Blade.
Yes, sir. Everybody continue to roll in, man. I appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah.
When you look at last week, I mean, I'm kind of tired about talking about last week. Thank God we're here week 2.
Thank God.
But what are your takes from last week? What did you see? Anything concern you? How do you feel about the performance that you saw last week on the field?
You know what? There's always a little bit of concern, and obviously we cleaned it up, but I always worry about the big play when it comes to USC in general. I mean, just giving up that big 4th down run or 3rd down run where they come for first down. I really want us to clean that up, and hopefully we can get that under control a little bit. But what really impressed me is I could feel the competition through the television screen. These guys, they are taking advantage of this opportunity. They're coming in. You got a guy like Marquise Gallegos and Michael Banuelos. You got guys like that and Gus Cordova too. He really they didn't care if it was scrub time. They were there. I mean, Gallegos was shooting out like a shotgun blast, man, just attacking everything, taking advantage of it. And that's the guy that I like and I root for. Micah on that run, he's over there blasting guys, and Gus over there, he's in the middle of that fumble there, but he's just all over the place. And I love seeing those guys compete because they all want playing time, and it's just going to make us a better team.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of talked about it off air, but seeing Gallegos almost put that kid in the hospital.
Oh, Lord.
Seeing Micah get out there, making some blocks. All the, a lot of the young offensive linemen, obviously Micah's been there a little bit longer. I think when you look at a guy like Gallegos, a guy like Micah, you see the development, right? These are people that you haven't seen out on the field much, but when they got out there, like, they looked very comfortable.
They looked like they knew what they were doing, right?
Competent college football players, right?
Yeah.
People, what I don't like, and like, why I'm big on a lot of kids on this team, particularly like a Braylon Shelby who's going to his a lot of these guys have been here. Yeah. These recruiting classes roll in college football. Everybody loves a new shiny toy. It's just the way it is, bro. Everybody loves the freshmen. They love, the new wide receivers. And a lot of fans kind of forget about the guys that have been there, 2-3 years, maybe dealt with the injury and maybe just not gotten their opportunity out there. So it was really good to see the depth shine, because we hadn't really seen that, right? In the past few years, it's been like, okay, the ones are out, and now we're just getting gashed. Things are just being, coverage is just being blown. Because, Bullock's not out there, or this guy's, or Bear's not out there, so Cal's just rushing the ball down the field, or whatever. So, it was good to see.
Yeah.
As far as, my evaluation on it, just very happy with Jaden, looking calm, cool, and collected, extremely comfortable out there. I think the running backs looked as good as I expected, right? I expected them to look good like that. I expected to see that from Waymo out there running the ball, his shiftiness, his speed. You've also talked to me a little bit about Eli coming over from New Mexico, because you had seen him in the past make some big plays out there. Yeah. And man, it's a faceless opponent. And that's what we're going to see coming in today. We're going to get into Georgia State in a little bit before we get into some more topics. But you got a good performance, but great. We have to chase greatness, right? My video a month and a half ago, I think this team could compete in the Big Ten. I think it could be a top 3 team in the Big Ten. You have to chase greatness, bro. We threw up 73 points. Cool. Let's move on. On to the next. Like, got to get better. Got to continue to prepare better because last week wasn't perfect. But love the camaraderie, and loved. I wanted to throw my telephone at my TV screen after that first play of the game, bro. I was a little nervous. There was a lot of pressure on that first down. My other guy got out of there. I didn't like that. I was very panicked. And I look back, I was like, is this blocking design? Is this design? Is this a block and release here? I don't know what's going on with that.
But Preston, that's the one thing about it. Going back to Eli Sanders, I lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Shout out to all you Albuquerque people out there. I got nothing but love for you. But anyway, I watched a lot of games. We watched some close up on the field, whatever. It's just Eli was just on another level, and the one thing that I noticed about him was his ability to catch the ball, and that's another thing people aren't talking about. Last year we had Woody catching all these balls and out of the backfield, so we're so worried about a number 3. Maybe it's going to be a guy like Eli that could come in and maybe be one of the leaders in receptions or something. We don't know, but he definitely has the capability of doing that. And then I just see the new guys, the transfer portal guys gelling. I mean, like Bishop, man, the way Kamari just kind of led that receiver his way and Bishop was there. They working in unison like that. That was really impressive to me. I know Kennedy Urlacher and one of the other deep, or I forgot who, they had that broken coverage there, but those guys are good kids, man. They're not gonna make that mistake again. So all in all, I'm ready for this next opponent. Hey, last week was last week. We and like I said, they did a great job, and I was really impressed with them. But shouts out to those guys, Alani Noahs and guys like that really don't get the run that people always talk about the main guys, but those are the guys I was really impressed with, the lunch pail guys, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure. And just to close it out, man, young guys like Hassan, those runs and stuff. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, you're a tough brother out here, bro. He was running people over, running through people. That surprised me a lot. Matai, Gus.
Oh, another one.
And the best thing, what I really loved about it, all in all, is the lack of penalties. The lack of mistakes.
Yeah, clean.
And I had damn, I wish I had the count, bro. I meant to have a count, but very minuscule when it came to the penalties, bro. And that was the greatest thing. Because early in the season, it's undisciplined, right? The Boise State game that we saw, you saw a lot of undisciplined football in week 0 and week 1. But the lack of penalties from USC was excellent. Hope to see that again today against an inferior opponent. We're able to sit back, run the option game, gap scheme stuff, get out, pull the guards, pull the tackles, and didn't put much on tape, right? I think it was pretty vanilla on that end. And like the demeanor of the coaches. Is it just me or is Lincoln? I've continued to say this, and I might have to trademark this. Big Ten Link seems a little different, bro. He's not satisfied.
He had some John Gruden in him, man, for a little bit there. Did you see that on the sidelines?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Exactly. He knows that this year is very important for him, very important for his coaching career, his legacy, his work. Right. This is year 4. His work in recruiting, his first year here, his second year here, development of guys like a Jacoby Lane. These young offensive linemen coming in here and making plays. This is his year to really show the work that he's been putting in. So I think he's taking it really serious, man. And he's not. These dudes are going after, and they know what they're working for and they're fighting for, and how good this team could be. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get on to our lunch pail awards from last week. We're gonna talk about some of the guys who had good performances last week, man. I'm gonna start it off. First off, Mekhi Lemon, right? Didn't have, didn't catch that touchdown. Probably one of the only mistakes Jaden made in that game. Missed him, down the middle. But 7 catches, 90 yards, just dependable, man. I think he's going to be even more consistent this season. He didn't drop no balls. He's just steady, bro. Put him in the slot. Put him wherever you want to go. He's a steady receiver, dependable, reliable. Love what I saw from Mekhi Lemon. Braylon Shelby, a guy I've been very high on, 2 sacks, 4 tackles. Just continue to get better with his.
He looked great, man. He looked great, Preston. Wow.
Development. This is what we're talking about. Development, right? Guys that have kind of gone by the wayside, but are showing you now that they're ready to come in, make plays. And not saying, and this is a guy I predicted to have 8+ sacks this year, right? And it's gonna, once we get into conference play, we're gonna see really, what we are. But was very happy about the performance of him. And Desmond Stevens just seemed calm on the defense. Didn't have no crazy stat line or anything like that. But I just, get everybody in position, get everybody positioned, the huddle, calling the plays, getting everybody aligned. I was impressed with, just his ability to do that. And what I saw out there on the field, just looked very comfortable and ready to compete and make plays this year. So I'll let you get into your guys here.
You know what? Shouts out to obviously Desmond Stevens. I'm a linebacker guy, you know that. And to see my boy Desmond, I feel like he's like he's like my son or something, man. This guy, man, I just want him to do well. I believe in him so much. He has next level talent, and he seems like a great kid. But I'm a great young man. But anyway, Braylon Shelby looked great too. I'm so happy for him. And a lot of times, last thing I'll say about this, and I'll go into mine. But people just talk about Lucas, and which is great. I think Lucas is a phenomenal talent. But I think, to me, Shelby and Lucas, I mean, Shelby's just as athletic and just as big, just as strong. And so I really hope both of them have a great year this year. But Alani Noah, the true mark of a man is how you bounce back from adversity. And one thing about Alani is that he is proven after all the heat that he took last year. I mean, there was times where I was screaming out his name in anger, man. It was frustrating. But yet you like to see a player be able to bounce back from that instead of just being crumbled by the amount of pressure and negativity. And they don't reach their talent level. But Alani, man, he lost the weight. He looked great. He's a quiet guy. He kept quiet. And look at him, man. He played really, really well. I thought there was a couple times where obviously it's the first game of the season, but I'm really proud of Alani Noah. And he looks like to be on the right track to do on the development track that he's on right now. And Abasiri, to me, that guy was just everywhere. Was it me or was he just all over the place on every tackle? That body, man, that body looks just like my body, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's a superhero, man. Yeah, I know. You guys probably have the same body fat, same muscle composition.
You better believe it, man. Yeah, God, are you kidding me, man? Yeah, man, we're the same. Dude, that guy is something else. Just to see him, and he reminds me of like Gene Upshaw with that big brace thing, whatever he has on his arm. That the old Raider, man. That's how you club guys over the head like that. But that guy is really he's bringing his A game this season, and he's ready, and he definitely deserves a lunch pail. And Matai's a guy that, to me, before the end of the year, there we go. Look at that. You got the thermos inside with all of it.
Go to work, baby.
Yeah, the bologna sandwich in there. That's how it goes. But then you got Matai, who to me is just full of talent. Watch what Rob Ryan does with this young kid. Before the end of the season, you're going to see Matai in some capacity help us out, during the season in some important games. That, talent is talent. Everybody, he's too skinny. I don't know how many times I hear that. I'm sick of it, hearing that, dude. It just bugs me to no end, because talent is talent, and he definitely has the talent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. And I just think I've talked about Matai too, just like his athleticism in high school on tape. He is like a rocket, bro. Like he was a heat-seeking missile out on the football field. And the same, people say the same thing. Yeah, the kid's too skinny. He's not able to play. Obviously, we're gonna see if a lot of these young guys get meaningful snaps, like in conference play. But I think, and a lot of people have said this, a lot of content creators, we had a very underrated class in 2025.
Really?
It was one that got, kind of overlooked. I believe it was around 16, 17 in the country. Yeah. And we got some big time players in this class, bro, that a lot of people forgot about. And
Cash, we forget about Cash too. Remember him?
Yeah, I don't think he suited up in that first game. No. I think he might be dealing with some injuries right now, or something like that. But guy like a Cash Jacobson, like a lot of these cats are college ready, man. And once they put on a few more pounds, it's going to be very scary. But they can definitely compete at the college level as true freshmen. So it's going to be exciting to see their development happen. But man, we're gonna get into Georgia Southern here, and let's talk about kind of how you're feeling about seeing, old Clay back in the collie, man. I put out a tweet last week because I knew this game was gonna come up. I had a lot of feedback, man, and it's really kind of all over the place too. Like, a lot of negativity, some positivity. People realizing that this is the last guy to come through here, win a Rose Bowl, win a Pac-12 championship. A lot of good moments under Clay Helton, but some good moments under Clay Helton. a lot of bad moments under Clay Helton. And this is not an indictment on him as a man or him, as a person. My dad coached college athletics, so it's a hard job, bro. And USC is a tough one, bro. It is a dream job.
Yeah.
But you got a city of people that are used to having a winner. When you talk about the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Kings, whatever sports franchise in the city. USC, historically one of the greatest college football programs of all time. Blue blood, 11 national championships, 8 Heismans. What's your feeling about Clay Helton? What do you think the reception will be? Just your opinion on him coming back to the Coliseum with his Georgia Southern squad.
You know what? It's Clay. Clay is Clay. He's a good guy. Really, some guys are better off being coordinators and coaches. There's a guy in the NFL years ago by the name of Norv Turner, who is probably one of the best offensive coordinators in the history of football. And I don't know how many times they've tried to make him head coach and it never worked out. Clay's kind of in that mold where I could just tell from the very beginning it was just a spur of the moment hire, and you wanted it to work. You really did, because he was a good guy. He did bring in some talent. The problem is that I think for that spurt right there, for all the 5 stars that they brought in, none of them were being developed. The NFL pipeline just dried up completely when Clay was at the helm. There was a couple guys that did make it just on their pure athleticism and God-given talent, but Clay and the constant revolving coaching staffs, it was a nightmare. It really was, but by no means at all do I think that the guy needs to be booed. I think he if you want to give Clay some positive traits, man, he showed up. He really did care about the kids. The kids loved him. They really, no one had really anything bad about him, dude. I don't think any players ripped him apart, but the guy just he was in over his head. That's all it is. It's kind of when some of these coaches take a job with the Yankees or the Lakers, like JJ Redick, because I'm an anti-Duke guy. But anyway, I'm kidding. No, there's certain guys that are in over their head when it comes to certain blue blood franchise. I mean, you're witnessing it right now with Alabama. We don't. I mean, there's a lot of things right now that are going on. Some coaches are just in over his head, and this guy definitely, it was the right move to get rid of him and move on.
Yeah, in regards to Clay, like I always kind of. I'm like, okay, it seems like when people talk about Lane, when people talk about Sark, there is a bit of like a positive veil that happens when you talk about those guys. Nobody really says anything that negative about Lane or Sark, Sometimes they do. Obviously, the Sark situation is kind of crazy. He was going through some stuff. But Lane, Sark, Clay, I mean, those guys were in there at a very tough and difficult situation, right? Sanctions, right on the head, bam, bam, bam. And these guys all struggled, right? But Lane was able to get some of the top recruiting classes, and I feel like a lot of people in the fan base just don't think that Clay was able to continue and keep the ball rolling on a lot of that stuff, and really develop a lot of those guys and a lot of that talent that was in the program at that point. But like I said, like a lot of people say, he was a guy that won the last Pac-12 championship, got that Rose Bowl, turned that season around. And that was, one of the better seasons USC has had in a very long time. Obviously, Lincoln had that good season coming in his first year, but that was kind of slanted and kind of a little bit of facade on that with Clay Williams being such a great athlete and making some moves that year. But we're gonna see, man. I hope they don't boo.
I hope they don't either. I really hope fan base.
We're the program is on the upward trajectory, bro. No reason to kind of just let's be the bigger people, but also we got fans fighting fans in the stands. So I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really know what's gonna happen because we got people fighting.
Yeah, we got people doing UFC moves up in the $5 seats up there, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, so we'll see. But hopefully, everybody behaves themselves. But let's talk.
But you know what? Thank you, Clay, for that Rose Bowl win. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. One of the best games I've ever watched. And you know what? He had a part in that, and I'll always be grateful for that.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, shouts out to everybody in the chat, man. I see a lot of familiar faces.
Thank you. My daughter's on here. I got friends on here. Yeah. Man, I love you guys. I got nothing but love for all of you.
Like the Torch Boys. A lot of people coming through. Appreciate you guys. So Georgia Southern, man. Georgia Southern was a pretty good team last season, right? An 8-4 team, Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah.
Competed against, some better teams, lost to Boise State by 11 points last year. Have a bit of a gunslinger at quarterback in JC French. Had 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions last year. This team is going to compete. They're going to do some interesting stuff on offense. They got some good talent, good division talent, some good transfers coming in there. That wide receiver from Auburn, Camden Brown, definitely want to keep an eye on. Got some shifty running backs back there, some guys on defense. But if this team is the team that I expect them to be, man, we got to continue to compete against ourselves, chase greatness, and this should not be a close game.
Yeah.
Man. Like how you feeling about this team?
Yeah, I watched that game against Fresno State, and shouts out to my boy Jeremy Dirks, who I grew up with. He's a Fresno State alum, and but they didn't look really good at all. I mean, quarterbacks like French. That guy, I love those gamers, and they're a step up of competition from last week. But at the same time, these are the games where we need to come in and handle our business if we are serious about contending. I want to see that level of intensity continue, like you said, with the competition. I really want that to be able to be our MO for the year, man. I want guys to compete every single game and get out there. And if something happens, next man up, you're ready to play and you're prepared. So that's what I'm looking at. I really want to see that development continue. And honestly, that's kind of what I'm excited about with the game. It's really not Georgia Southern. I can, I want to see how we continue to improve week by week.
Yeah. It's competing against ourselves. Be disciplined, continue discipline, please, on the defensive side of the ball with alignment, with assignment. Don't want to see misassignments. Gap, be in your gap at the right time. And just fight, bro. Just fight. This is a team under Dan Lynn. This team fought all year. We were winning in every single game that we played against. Never gave up. Never got embarrassed. Obviously had some bad losses, right? But we're right there. We're right there in every single game last season. And I think now with that mentality, with a lot of these guys being in the scheme for a second year, third year, like a guy like Kamari Ramsey, which is crazy. I think that's just where we're going to see the improvement, right? And these are the games where we really hone in. You continue to build confidence. You continue to get the confidence of these young guys, right? I hope we see Hassan Longstreet in this game. We should see Hassan Longstreet in this game.
Yeah.
We should see Matai in this game. We should see Micah in this game. We should see everybody.
That's Cordova. I want to see those guys.
2 spots. We should see guys getting the ball. I think B-Jack is out this game, so maybe we see King Miller get in there at the running back spot. Get a lot of these young guys, more experience. Continue to build that camaraderie and keep that excitement, right? Because when your second and third string guys are able to get that experience, that builds their confidence, and that just overall just helps the locker room. Makes people more motivated in practice, right? Makes people more motivated throughout the week to go in there and watch film and compete at the highest level when they're going against their brother. So this is something that I really want to continue to build on, and it's in the DNA of championship teams, in DNA of the best teams in college football, right? To where if we get late in the season and we're in a conference game, and God forbid somebody breaks a shoelace or something happens that we don't want to happen, that second or third string guy can come in there and there is no drop off because he has that confidence. He has those snaps under his belt, and he believes in himself and he believes in his brother next to him. So these games are very important, even though the competition, the team you're going up against may not be on your level, but mentally you'll want to, help yourself and compete against yourself to get better and prepare for the long haul of the season.
Yeah, and it's great competition. I see Micah Banuelos there. I mean, that to me, those guys are so important to this team because we all know Big Ten football, how it can get. guys can come up, with some type of random injury. And when you have guys that are developed like Micah and some other guys that young players that we have that can just come in and plug in, Micah's like a veteran already, man. And you saw him out there competing and him putting that pressure on Tobias, it just makes Tobias that much better. Yeah. So I'm all about it, man. I want to see that continued improvement in our O-line this week. The running game, we got to see a lot of guys and everybody's high on certain running backs, but you know what? We haven't even seen Riley Wormley and Harry Dalton yet, man.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see that.
Crazy. That is insane. Harry Dalton to me is one of the most talented backs I've seen in a long time. And you know what? He might not even play. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But then, like I said, some of the receivers, I'd like to see some guys step up. One of these, maybe a Sims like we talked about earlier today. So I'm all about it, man. The linebacking unit, let's get some of these like Newbie and Matai. I want to see what they can do as well.
Yeah, and I think this week I'm going to be even more pilled just on the offensive line in general. No matter which group it is, obviously particularly the first group, but I want them to look better than they did last week.
Yeah,
and they played a good game last week, but Missouri State is not a test, bro.
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowing any.
We're really
pressure.
not going to know until we get into conference. Yeah, because believe me, I've learned my lesson, bro. Because last year after that LSU game, I was like, oh, we're good, man. We'll be good. We just defensive line good, offensive line good, because we went against the best offensive linemen in the country. And, we went against these defensive linemen. So once we get into conference play, but as far as offensive linemen goes, those guys are going to be evaluated on the weekly basis. Like, that's just how it is, bro. Because it's one of the most important groups, probably the most important group on any team, but particularly this team with the type of high-powered offense we can be and we will be this season. So we need guys to, get their assignments right, block right, have, defensive recognition and stuff like that and do the right things on the offensive line. But excited to see how these guys bounce back and perform tonight against this Georgia Southern team. So we're going to do the prediction on this game at the end of the show.
Yeah.
But we wanted to kind of, go through some of that stuff, kind of go through the USC opponent for today. And yeah, man, we're going to talk about some other topics going down around the country right now.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, Heisman Trophy power rankings, right? And these are what we're gonna do is for accountability reasons. Week 0 we went out. We talked about our Heisman favorites, and I got some guys, and my guy Paulie got some guys. So I'm gonna kind of go through this right now. I have Lenore Sellers at my number 3 going into the season. And he's my number 1 right now in the power rankings. He was 12 for 19 last week against Syracuse. 209 yards, a touchdown, 13 carries and a touchdown, 0 interceptions. And I'm going to say something about Lenore Sellers, bro. I can't lie.
You've been big on him.
He was giving me Cam Newton vibes, bro. He was giving me light Cam vibes, bro. I'm not going to lie. Like, just the confidence, the physicality. Under control. Like I said, he's got some great weapons out there. And Nick Harbor and those guys. I like.
But Preston, what type of Cam Newton vibes? The crazy one with the hat right now?
No, the other one? I'm talking like right,
I wanted to make sure we got that cleared up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like light, you know what I'm saying? Blackie Chan, like light Cam Newton vibes watching that game, bro. Just the confidence and the swagger, you feel me? Running the ball under control, running people over. I like what I saw out of him. Jeremiah Smith, bro. Jeremiah Smith going up against Texas, one of the better defenses in the country.
Yeah.
So obviously, he's going to be bracketed. He's going to have double coverage and stuff like that coming off of that 15 TD freshman year that he is. But 6 catches, 2 early drops. Kind of looked out of it early in the season. But, he had 43 yards, 6 catches, 7.2 yards a catch. I expect him to kind of bounce back, but he definitely went down in the standings for me. And Jeremiah Love, man. Notre Dame came out here, played the Miami Hurricanes. And Jeremiah Love was a ghost out there, bro.
I wonder, are you even here? Are you playing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you know what, to be honest with it, like, that's a weird thing about this cat, bro. Because he kind of disappeared a few times against USC last year.
Yeah, he did.
He had some pretty spectacular plays, but he is not an every down guy. He disappears throughout the course of the game. And when I see him get the ball to the backfield, that's what I'm saying, Jeremiah. When I see him get the ball to the backfield, he's kind of a guy that kind of has to wind up. Like he doesn't have that burst, that initial burst. He kind of has to wind up as a runner. And he struggled, man. He wasn't able to do nothing. 10 carries, 33 yards. I think the backup might be better than him. They got a backup running back that looks like a bodybuilder out there, and he had some of the biggest runs of the game. He looked a lot better than Jeremiah Love did last year. It's gonna be interesting to see what type of year he has. He's a little inconsistent, bro. You don't really know where he's gonna show up. But these are my Heisman power rankings as of this week.
And the thing with Love is that the hype was so big on him, and some players can handle that and some can't. So it was week 1 obviously, but the linebacking unit of Miami, they really kept him in check, and he struggled and kind of just checked out a little bit, if you ask me. And that's not what you want to see in your star player. I don't care how many times he jumps over and does these acrobatic things. You got to be able to run between the tackles, and he wasn't able to do that. But let's get to mine. All right, Albuquerque and New Mexico in general. We got Mr. Diego Pavia, one of my top Heisman choices. He threw 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, 20 for 25. He does it just so effortlessly. But the thing is that he's only 5'10", 6 foot maybe, and the guy just gets it done by pure will, by pure leadership. I believe in him when he says that he's going to be the Heisman winner. I believe in him I think they're going to win that. They have a good chance with limited talent on that team to win that division that they're in, because he just has that ability. It's magical. It's like a Wally Zerbiak in the NCAA tournament back in the day, or like a Steph Curry when he went off in the tournament. He just has that it factor about him, and there's something that I believe in when it comes to Diego Pavia. So there you go, Eddie B, back in Albuquerque. Your nephew there, man. He's a great kid. And I honestly I adore him. I'm a huge fan of him. And then you got Mr. Jaden Mayava, one of my personal favorites. You know what? I've never wanted a player ever to succeed the way I do with Jaden. I want him to just reach that level, because he's such a good kid. Everything he endured coming in, in a difficult situation, never complaining. He was so hard on himself. And that was the one issue, that if there was one negative trait about him, is that he was so hard. He didn't want to let people down. And now he's become this polished young man, and you can see it in his play. And we're going to see again. Hopefully he can continue that streak. I'm telling you, he keeps putting up these numbers, and then he gets a couple big wins on the road against Illinois, maybe one in Nebraska, does really well in some of these big games against Notre Dame or Oregon. Then you know what? I want to see him there, in New York with his lay on, his cornrows, and his entire family behind him, because this kid deserves it. And you know what? I got nothing but love for you, Jaden. And Mr. Cade Klubnik. And it's just not you. It's your coach as well. Until you can prove to me that you can make a 4th and 1 play, until you can prove to me, Clemson, that you can go ahead and take on these big boys without that 19-20 offense that you got, and show that you can compete. And what we're going to do, run the wishbone now, Dabo? I got to see you do something in order to compete at this level. You got so much talent. You could probably beat the Jaguars right now with the talent you have. And you give Nick Saban, they'll probably beat the Jaguars. Yeah, there's tons and tons of talent on this team. And for you guys to just play at a mediocre level like this, unacceptable. Cade, you're dropping. If I had a chance, I'd probably dump you out of this top 3 right now.
Yeah. And the thing about Jaden, man, I don't know. He took the cornrows out. He got the hair out. So I don't know. I don't really like that, but hopefully we could keep it going against Georgia Southern. I think the cornrows are kind of like good luck charm. Maybe he got them redone for the day. I'm assuming maybe he got to see early on. You feel me? If anybody knows that, if you got braided up before the game, let me know. But something I see in the chat, Paulie, you want to speak on. We kind of didn't really speak on that when we yes, in the USC stuff, but we could go back and kind of speak on this. Like Miller Moss, some of the things that Miller Moss said about USC, the fan base. Speak on this real quick, and then we'll continue on that.
Okay, let me tell you something, Blackie Chan. Let me tell you something, Mr. Miller Moss. We taught you better than that. You were a USC Trojan. We gave you our love. We gave you our dedication. When you were over there throwing interceptions and pouting on the sidelines after you got demoted. We still had your back no matter what. And for you to go ahead and throw us under the bus like that, unacceptable. I'm disappointed in you, man. I'm like a dad right now. I'm telling you, I'm disappointed in you. How dare you just come and take a shot at us when we were so loyal to you, man? And on top of that, you know what? I'm a little, it bothers me. It bothers me because we believed in you and we stood by your side. Everybody fought about you and Jaden the entire season. So you know what? That just goes to show you that, that we had nothing but love for you, man. And we stood by your side. For you to kind of do that, I thought it was Bush League, and shame on you for that, man.
Yeah, man, straight up. And like, this is what I'll say, bro. Me as somebody who was Miller timing all last year, like I still buy you through 7 weeks of the season until the quarterback change happened. It's like, bro, I don't know why these guys that are California natives that dreamed of going to USC, playing for the Trojans, as soon as they leave, they got something negative to say about the fan base, something negative to say about the game day experience and about the team, bro. I don't about the program. Like, you don't benefit from that. We saw the same thing. We saw Damani Jackson. Damani Jackson, bro. Like, what? You really have nothing to say, brother. Like, you didn't be not one interception when you were at USC, bro. Like, there's not one memorable play that Damani Jackson made at SC, bro. And like, people say, like, that's not good, bro. It's bad karma, bro. Like, go on, continue your legacy at the university that you're at. But you're not really up in any way, bro. Talking down at USC, like, I don't really see the benefit in that way. And I was the guy that was rooting for Miller Moss to have a successful season this year too.
You were like, his biggest supporter.
I was with bro all last year when he went to Louisville. Well, you could go on his Instagram right now. I'm like the first comment on that Instagram story to transfer Miller time forever. And then you go, look down on the program. Come on, dog. Like, come on, dog. I know you've been through a lot. Like, your family went through a lot with the fires and stuff. Come on, dog. Like, we were all behind that, bro. Come on, like.
Come on. And like I said, as soon as I saw him pouting on the sidelines, I didn't say anything but I thought he did Jaden a little dirty. I would have liked to see him be a true leader and him and work with Jaden hand in hand. Maybe he did behind the scenes, who knows? But probably a half-ass effort on it. But I just thought I bring it up, but I thought that was Bush League, man. You know what? You got beat out. You got demoted for a reason. There was a reason why they demoted you. So you know what? Just deal with it. Move on. Do I want to see him succeed? Of course we do, man. He was a Trojan at one point, but like with Domani, Mr. Slip on every play, man. Big complaint about the cleats guy. I don't know where he came out with those comments either, but I don't get it either, Preston. You know what? I think we're a loyal fan base to our players. We go above and beyond. We love their parents, their families. I mean, so yeah, Miller was a little shady on that.
Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do, right? If you guys are watching the stream on Twitter, we're trying to draw attention to our YouTube channel, man. We're trying to get Paulie Walnuts monetized. We're trying to, get people to Archer. We work very hard on this show. They'll put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this show. We're going to end the stream on Twitter right now. Come over, watch the show on Preston's Paradise, watch the show on Calling the Shots podcast with Paulie Walnuts, and come over here and continue to watch the show. We're going to continue and get into some of these new topics here, man. So appreciate you guys watching if you're on Twitter, but come over to YouTube and check us out right now, man. So we're going to continue on here, and we're going to move into our next topic, man. Arch Manning, right?
Oh.
Now here's the deal, man. Does Arch bounce back? And I don't really count young football players off, too early in their careers, man. I think Arch has a lot of tools with his size, his ability to throw the ball. A lot of stuff came out this week, he's playing 8-on-8, blah, blah, blah. The competition where he was playing in high school wasn't where it was supposed to be. But I think he will bounce back, man. Late in that game, he made a lot of big-time throws, has the pedigree, has, probably the greatest football tutelage that anybody could have, as an athlete. With, you got two uncles that won Super Bowls. One is probably top 3, top 4 greatest quarterback all time. And I think it's too early to call, man. The unfortunate problem is when you have a guy, you got talking heads like us, you got schmucks on YouTube like me. And I was never a guy that really come out and say, "Oh, Arch Manning is gonna." I never said Arch Manning was gonna win the Heisman. The most I said was I'm down for Manning mania, because I was a big Peyton Manning fan growing up. And I like it, bro. I like legacies. That's the reason why I was behind Bronny James. It's the reason behind I get a lot of these guys behind a lot of these guys, right? But I think it's too early to call, man. But when you have Paul Feinbaum coming out saying, "Oh, this is the greatest quarterback we're ever going to see in the game since Tim Tebow," that this is the greatest quarterback prospect we've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is the Heisman Trophy. The future Heisman Trophy winner. That is too much, bro. And then after that game last week, people are saying, "Oh, he's terrible. He's a bust." Blah blah. I stay right in the middle, bro. Yep. Win in. How many guys have we seen come in as a freshman quarterback and win a game against the defending national champs in the horseshoe, bro? It's not an easy game to play, bro. That was not an easy, task for him to do. So, how you feel about Arch bouncing back? Do you think he bounces back? What's your opinions on this?
The thing with Arch is that by no means am I a quarterback coach, my Lincoln Riley or something. The only thing I have in common with Arch Manning is that we throw that Uncle Rico sidearm thing, probably a little similar. That little throw he had, man. That was probably. But one thing about him is you gotta, when I look at a quarterback, it's usually by year 2 when you get a good assessment of who they're going to be and what they're about. The problem with him is that he couldn't even beat out Quinn Ewers. And when you get a generational talent that comes in, like an Underwood at Michigan, I mean, the way he came in and just pretty much took control against some veteran competition there, and some of these other guys. You look at Matt Barkley in his freshman year. There's just guys that are able to come in and process the game a lot faster. So that was my biggest concern, red flag to begin with. Second of all, you look at the competition that he had at Newman High. I don't know if that was. I mean, one of those defensive tackles looked like me chasing him, dude. It was not good. It was like slow, like 6.2 speed, man. It was not good. And so maybe he struggles a little bit with all of it. But I honestly, from what I've read, a lot of these guys, of course they're high on him, but yet they're a little worried, from my understanding. Does he have the capacity to really be that elite? Maybe not. Maybe he's going to be a really good serviceable college player, but we have yet to see. It was game 1. Maybe we'll see if he has that Manning DNA where he can bounce back and really show people what he's about. Because I know at Tennessee, Peyton struggled, his first game a little bit and struggled for a while there. Look at what happened with the Colts, man. He threw one of the most interceptions in the history of football. But we'll see what happens with Arch. Do I believe in him? I'm on the fence a little bit, to be honest with you. I believe he will be a productive quarterback, but will he be a megastar? I don't think he's going to be that megastar where he's going to be on a Wheaties box or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely to be determined, man. Like I'll make my call, midway through the season, but
yeah, definitely.
I think he's going to be all right, man. I think the public outrage and stuff has been a little too much on a young quarterback like Arch.
Yeah.
And I think he could turn into a good college quarterback. So another thing, we're gonna stick with the SEC right here in the next couple topics, but Brian Kelly and the Tigers finally got it done, bro. Avoided losing a 6th straight opener and got an impressive win in Clemson, bro. In the what they're calling now the fake Death Valley. And some of the calls that game was going on at the same time as the SC game, so I had it on my laptop while I was watching the SC game on my computer. And the SC game, I think, ended right before that one ended. But they really probably should have won that game by a little more. There was also kind of a little beef going on post-press conference between Kelly and Dabo, kind of going back and forth in terms of the performance of the opponents and whatnot. Brian Kelly was getting red at certain points in that game. It was looking kind of iffy, but they pulled it out. And I'm happy for Brian Kelly, bro. He's going through it, bro. They finally got it done. It was impressive, man. And I think LSU – with Nussmeier, a guy like Perkins out there, the linebacker spot, some of the athletes, the running back, the offensive line, they could have one of the better teams and they could, make a run at an SEC championship, bro. They got a lot of tools on this team. They're going to have to run into Lenoris in South Carolina. They're going to have to run into my boy Kirby in Georgia. Yeah. And I think they play Bama as well, but jury's out on Bama. We're going to get into that next segment. There's a lot of stuff going on over there in Tuscaloosa. But how do you feel about, this game and,
Well, Kelly? It reminded me, Kelly, reminded me of the time when Steve Young finally won a Super Bowl, man. He was able to, be able to get all that weight off his shoulders. And when I look at Kelly, you can tell that he's under a lot of pressure there, man. That guy, it's not like Notre Dame, buddy. You got people that are going to be, just lighting your trees on fire and coming after you if you don't win. And so there was a lot of pressure. And this is where, it's hard for me to gauge how good LSU really is, because you go into Clemson, but Clemson looks soft to me. It's like, I don't even know how to even gauge the Tigers by this victory, because Clemson's so unpredictable. So, we'll give it time in the SEC. Like I said, it could be, or we're talking maybe Vandy or South Carolina. I kind of have a vibe, a gut feeling. It's going to be one of these teams that are finally going to kind of change and shake that division up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. SEC ball as well as Big Ten ball, like it's just attrition, bro.
Yeah.
Injuries, all that stuff is going to come into play. I mean, when you talk about how these teams compete and who's going to be left at the end of the year, but nonetheless, man. So to win that game against what pretty much everybody, including myself, put out there, and I'm it's a whole, a lot of accountability on this show and a lot of accountability on my channel. It's a whole reevaluation, right? Because now I'm looking at it. Miami and Clemson both have about the most cupcake schedules compared to a lot of these top teams. They're in the ACC. They're playing absolutely nobody. They don't play each other. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see who is there at the end of the year in the ACC and who really wins that conference. But Clemson was pretty much the favorite to win that conference, particularly before that Notre Dame-Miami game. And, LSU goes in there on the road and gets it done. So,
but going to the ACC, not to jump to the ACC, but you look at Clemson, you got teams like Georgia Tech that are really playing really good football right now. So, you just don't know that what Miami are we going to get? Are we going to get a consistent Miami? Is Clemson going to be able to play consistent hard-nosed football? What they need is Dabo wants to be old school. Then you need to get your boys over to Bear Bryant's Junction training camp or whatever back in the old days where they're training in the heat, almost dying out there. That's what those boys need in the fake Death Valley. Don't even get me started. I'm so upset about that game. But anyway, I'm ready for whatever topic you got next. I'm ready for it.
All right, man. Let's get to a good one. Trouble in Tuscaloosa.
Yes. Bro. Look at the fan. That guy is so angry.
Bro. So now there's a great. I wish I could find the Twitter account right now, but there's a Twitter account people pay for these message boards, and there's a Twitter account that takes the messages from the message boards and tweets them out, right? So kind of go through some of this stuff right now, and then I'm gonna talk about kind of my opinion on this Trouble in Tuscaloosa situation. People wanted Dan Lanning to be the coach. They're thinking Dan Lanning is gonna be the coach. People are blaming this on Nick Saban, bro. Like, I don't know how you can blame this on Nick. Yeah. Like, why blame it on Nick, right? Like, out of all things, right? I don't get it. I don't get it, bro. People basically saying that college football is dead just because Alabama is not what they used to be, and saying that, just because Alabama's good, then, everything is bad. I mean, just because Alabama's bad, everything is bad. Nobody cares anymore, blah, blah, blah. And, people are just kind of crashing out, bro. You got people on TV, people going on Feinbaum, wishing physical harm on my guy, Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer, obviously, 4 underranked losses in 14 games at Alabama, right? And Nick only had 4 in 235 games. You got fans flipping off the ESPN cameras. DoorDashes going to the hotels the night before games. Dudes bringing their girlfriends to the hotels late night. You got offensive linemen kick-stepping and doing offensive line drills with cell phones in their pockets. A lot is going on in Bama, right? But I'm gonna speak on this real quick. I'm gonna let you do your thing. And this is what I'm talking about, right? The fear factor, bro. Now, I think about it, right? Me, myself playing football, I was coached by a guy named Joe Myra, University of Miami great, Key West, Florida great. He had a fire under our ass, bro. My coach used to curse out the other coaches on the team. Everybody was on eggshells. And that was what Nick Saban had at Bama, right? The coaches, everybody was fired up. The only person who really didn't care about Nick Saban was like Lane Kiffin, like, because he was just super chill. Like, he's like the only coach that really like he didn't really go up and down. He was just, Lane is just a chill, calm guy and wasn't really affected by Nick. But that really pissed Nick off even more. But Kalen DeBoer, bro, he is trying to do the impossible, brother. He is stepping in behind God, behind Bear Bryant. Like, the coach that gets the next job after DeBoer, if DeBoer is gone out of there in the next few years, I hope not. I hope the guy holds on to his career, holds on to his job. But he's going to have a much easier time. It is tough to replace the GOAT, bro. It is virtually impossible. They have completely opposite demeanors. And it's just something that they're not used to in Tuscaloosa, bro. Ken DeBoer is a laid-back guy. But Ken DeBoer is a winner at the end of the day. He's won everywhere he goes. So I think a lot of this has to be put on the players, man. You got Ryan Williams walking in there with a teddy bear. You got guys, painting their nails. Guys, not focused with their cell phones in their hand, pre-game, doing TikToks post-game after a loss. Saban wouldn't have allowed any of that, bro. Nope. Saban is a completely different character. And everybody relaxes when the substitute teacher is there, bro. It's just human nature. When the substitute teacher's there, everybody calms down, everybody relaxes, everybody goofs off, bro. So that's just my take on it. How you feeling about this
You know what? It's funny because I have a Sports Illustrated collection, believe it or not. I think I showed you my collection where I post them on the walls and stuff. But I was reading, I just happened to grab a random Sports Illustrated the other day, and Nick Saban was in it. And as when you open the page up, it was Nick and all of his offensive linemen from Michigan State, these giant guys all dressed in suits, looking intimidating. They were walking down to the wherever they're walking. But I saw that and I thought, damn, I go, that reminds me of those teams, the Yankee teams that people feared. That reminds me of, the Alabama. It just goes back to your point with Alabama. People feared that team when it came in. Now, maybe in today's world, they thought, okay, let's go ahead and get away from that. These people that are in charge, like the Jen Cohns of the world. Jen, obviously, we hit a home run with her. Maybe this group here decided, let's go with something different. Maybe these kids need to lighten things up a little. From what I've read, that's kind of the take they had on it. Let's go ahead and bring in this guy. He's a really good players kind of coach and this and that. But now you see the effect of it when the only thing that works in places like Alabama is you got to have that tough guy, man, that leader that they fear. And like you said, you got guys coming in, bringing, like I said, door dashing and bringing girlfriends in. I mean, some of the stuff I read was just outrageous. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the heck is going on out here? These guys just like lost their minds or what? I mean, it's like, it's insane. But you know what? They're struggling with it. I said this before the season even started. Remember I told you, Preston? This guy loses one game, it's over. And sure enough, I mean, there's on Feinbaum's show, there's this crazy Alabama fan named
Legend. Yeah,
this guy literally is talking. I mean, I thought he was going to go to DeBoer's house and try to like murder this guy or something. These fans are on another level. I mean, we think we're bad. These guys are. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they want to show up with like 20 alumni and protest. Oh my God. It's like, it's just too much. But you know what? The problem is they're going to have to make a decision really quickly. He gets another loss. DeBoer's gone. Definitely gone. Or if they struggle, I mean, the pressure is going to mount to the point where they're going to have to make a change. And, there's talk of John Gruden maybe already in the mix of maybe coming in and taking over that job. And I'm a big Gruden fan, and I think he would probably be a good fit there. But at the same time, I just don't know. I know it's a trend now. You got a lot of these former pro coaches coming over, but it's going to take a special person to kind of keep that on track. I mean, Saban handed this guy just a gold platter of just nothing but recruits and 5 stars and coaching staffs, everything. And so DeBoer's already done a pretty good job of kind of ruining that already. So, I mean, it's funny to me, though. I love seeing these fans flipping off cameras, dude. And
I'm tired of seeing the rich get richer, bro.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
Y'all had a good run, bro. It's all throughout middle school, all throughout high school, Bama. And like I said, bro, I think a little bit more has to be put on the players when you see the loafing. Like, I'm not gonna call no names up, but that number 18, that safety, he was getting torn up. He was getting torn up all week on Twitter and YouTube. Bro, God bless that kid, bro. I hope he's going today. Hopefully he's like, taking off campus. And I think they got like Austin P or some FCS team today. So hopefully they can demolish them. If they don't have a nice performance today.
Oh my gosh. I would get
Lord.
out of town. I would not stay on campus if I was a player. I'd get out of there.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad if they don't perform today. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens with Bama. And I think if the boy is gone, then you might see a name like a Lanning. You know, if Oregon continues to go downward, you know, I think they're trending downward in my personal opinion. You might see a name like Lanning, you might see a name like Gruden, you might see a name like Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Because those are people that have been in the program. They know what the program's like. They know what the surrounding areas are like. They know what the recruiting territory is like. And these are people that the fan base is clamoring for. They kind of know what it means to be a part of that program, have that pressure on your back, and have that fire under your ass as you know, the leader of the Alabama football program. So yeah, man, we're gonna see what goes on with that. But moving right along, best conferences this year, man. SEC, Big Ten, ACC, Big 12. And I think easily right now, the Big Ten is, you know, the best, right? What are your opinions on, you know, the conference layout and who do you think is king right now when it comes to college football?
You know, believe it or not, Big Ten, I mean, you got legitimate, you know, you know what you're getting from the Big Ten. The SEC is up in the air. I mean, the ACC is up in the air. We don't know, you know, now after week 1, we have no idea what's going on in that conference. I mean, could it be Georgia Tech? Could it be Miami? Could it be Clemson? We just don't know. And in the SEC looks to be really all over the place. I mean, if Oklahoma loses to Michigan, then that's another black eye to that conference, because, you know, obviously Texas A&M, we handled them last year, and we've always done. USC's always done great against SEC teams, but I don't fear them anymore, and I know players don't fear them anymore. And so right now, you look at the Big Ten, we're definitely head and shoulders above the rest of them.
Yeah, last 2 champs. I mean, my class of the Big Ten, where it's regards to like Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, USC, Oregon. I think that's like the class of the conference, right?
Yes, definitely.
These are teams that even USC were undefeated against the SEC last year. Beat LSU, beat Texas A&M in the bowl game. And then the teams below in the Big 12, in the Big Ten are just gritty, just well coached, like Iowa, Illinois, Nebraska, just teams that could get after your ass, winning week in, week out. It's not the same in the SEC, in my personal opinion, bro. When you look at, like, I know you're a little higher on Vanderbilt. They actually, I'll probably put Vanderbilt ahead of a few of those other teams.
But you got Mississippi State,
Mississippi State,
schools like that, you know, that really, I mean, come on.
Yeah, for sure. It's not moving the needle, bro. I think the ACC takes a little bit of a jump more than usual this particular season when you talk about Miami and Clemson having some of the better squads. We'll see, you know, jury's still out on Clemson. It is a fact that Clemson has great players on the defensive side of the ball. That's not debatable, but we're going to see how good of a team they are, and if Dabo's you know, mentality and his way of doing things is really going to be successful. I know there's a lot of people in the college football landscape that are anti-NIL, anti-transfer portal, that are really rooting for that to be successful, because, you know, it would kind of be a I told you so to college football and a lot of the programs that are just spending money, you know, and trying to be successful in this era. The Big 10, I mean, the Big 12 is really just kind of, so that's another one that's up in the air to me. The Big 12 with, I mean, Ohio State, Utah. I think Utah is probably looking to be the best at that, you know, at that point right now. I think they're still trying to adjust a little bit, not having a 30-year-old quarterback. But they seem to be, you know, kind of cultivating and getting things right.
I'm sorry, man. Yeah. That would caught me off guard, man. Yeah, that guy already had gray hair already, dude.
Yeah, you know, the quarterback doesn't have, you know, the 401k and all that stuff like that. But Utah and, you know, Willingham, or, you know, the coach out there is probably in his last year. Seems like he might be on his way out, but I think Utah is probably the most successful team. And then as far as the SEC too, is like, I got to see what's going on with Georgia and Kirby. They had a nice game last week. You know, Zach Branch also took a kick back last week. I saw that kind of late, man. Shouts out to Zach Branch, man. Hopefully he gets it going out there, former USC Trojan. But I'm looking to see how good Georgia is and seeing how good Texas is. Obviously coming off that loss to the defending champs, somebody that is in our conference in Ohio State. So those guys are really going to determine how successful that SEC is this season. But let's talk some Pac-12, man. Old Pac-12, where SC came from.
I miss it.
You miss it. A lot of these are all familiar. I mean, this is the old Pac-12 right here, man. Old Pac-12 tier list here. And I put this together, y'all in the exactly 4th and 9 podcast, bro.
I can tell by the disbanded program.
Exactly.
Quarterback with an AARP card.
4th and 9
that is it.
Man. B Jinx and Kristen's podcast over there. They be doing live game reactions, man. Getting it started.
Yeah, definitely. Shouts out to B Jinx and Kristen.
Yeah. Man, so old Pac-12 tier list. I put this together, man. Y'all in the chat can tell me how you feel about this, bro. Like, I think serious contenders, SC. Oregon, a lot of attention around each program, a lot of success around each program. Obviously, we had a Heisman Trophy winner, had an 11-win season, number one in recruiting right now. Oregon, I got to give Oregon credit, even though I hate the University of Zero.
Yeah.
Was good. They came and they won the Big Ten last year. You feel me? So I can't really hate on them that much in that aspect. They did a good job. Obviously, didn't win anything meaningful, though, but are competitive, and taken seriously in the college landscape. Washington and Jed Fish, a lot of respect for Jed Fish, man. Been in the NFL. He's a real deal type of ball coach, and I think they're always going to be a competitive team. Demon Williams looks like the truth out there at the quarterback position.
Yeah, he does. He's really good.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen
really
that.
But I saw it.
Yeah, he looks kind of crazy out there at Washington. I'm actually happy that we do not have to play them this year. I was out there last year for the USC game, one of the worst experiences I've ever experienced in my life. Arizona State, with Dillingham. He's doing a good job out there.
Yeah, Dillingham's doing a great job with that program.
Yeah. How do you feel about like Cal and like? I mean, I kind of talked about Utah.
So I grew up in a good chunk of my life in the Bay Area and Cal football always. I mean, when you want to talk about NFL pipelines, that team always put out solid NFL guys. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, from Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch. I mean, there's too many, and then Utah as well. Another solid team, but I don't know. Were you finished already, or?
No, I don't want to just ramble on. You can kind of speak on this stuff.
Yeah. So I know when it comes to Colorado, I've never been big on the program, especially what really turned me off and really bummed me out is that you had great players, Bieniemy, Chad Brown, Deion Figures, guys like that who still do not have their numbers retired, won national championships for them, but yet you want to give Shedeur and Travis Hunter and want to give these guys that ultimate honor by retiring their jerseys. Get out of here, dude. I'm done with that.
Let me say one thing about that. Can I say one thing about that?
Go ahead.
Here's the thing, right? Colorado football, I never paid attention to Colorado football before Deion went there. I'm not even gonna lie. Never paid there. It was kind of a joke. When USC would play them, absolutely destroyed them. They never beat us, right? I think retiring Shedeur's jersey was a joke. I would have had no problem with retiring Travis Hunter's jersey, but like you could have waited a couple of years, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like you could have done it at the end of like this season. You feel me? That was the only problem with that. I think he deserved to have his Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winner. You can have your jersey retired. The Shedeur thing, it didn't make sense to me, but that's all I'll say on that.
But McCarthy, see, when I was growing up, I would say everywhere from 88 to 90, whatever. McCarthy had that program humming. I mean, it was an LA pipeline. You got guys like I said, Bieniemy. You'd get a lot of these players. Michael Westbrook, who was just tough, and these guys were solid pros, solid college players. Cordell Stewart. I mean, they were in the mix every year. I mean, I can't remember if they won one national championship or two. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I think it was one.
Yeah.
But Rashawn Salam, Heisman winner. I mean, they had a lot of great players come out of there. But the one that I really truly do miss, though, the two teams are Stanford and Cal. Yeah. Those are the ones that to me, you look at Stanford's history and the type of games that we played against them. I mean, SC and Stanford games were always epic. They were hard-nosed fought games. You go back to Toby Gerhardt and all those guys. man, with the when Harbaugh was there and Carroll, they were going, head to head. Those were just, man, I couldn't even sleep at night, man. My stomach was turning, man. It was just like, you just knew you were going to get a tough game. And Cal was the same way for a while there. They always played us tough for the most part in some occasions. But, the one teams like Washington State, Oregon State, I never really got into those, and UCLA. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I think I'd rather watch the Bakersfield Renegades than to watch UCLA.
What is that? Is that okay?
Is that
a okay? Because I was going to ask you, is that arena football or is that female football? Okay.
Dude, no. You know what? I honestly would watch I do watch female football.
Does arena football exist anymore?
Yeah. You got like the, I mean, those, it exists out there. But I think Antonio Brown was like part owner. He wanted to play for one or something, or I don't know.
Antonio Brown,
but yeah, that's that program. I mean, I was talking to Gabe and to Tim last night, and we were asking, when was the last time UCLA put out a top wide receiver? And I said, Danny Farmer, JJ Stokes, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was it. I mean, this program was struggling for a long, long time. I mean, stick to basketball. Maybe they need to go the Villanova, route where they just eliminate the football program and just stick to basketball or something. I don't know, but they're not doing very well there. Utah, pain in my ass there. I always hated dealing with that team. And Oregon is Oregon. To me, Oregon is one of the most overrated programs in the history of college football. And when I say that on every single level, Preston. They just have a way of hyping these guys up. Look what happened to DeAnthony Thomas when he could have been a Trojan. Instead, he goes there, has a mediocre career, and can't even stick on an NFL team. If he would have stuck with us, it would have been different. So don't even get me started.
I never forget it, bro. Me and DeAnthony Thomas came out of high school the same year, bro.
Yeah.
Like, me and DeAnthony Thomas was crying tears, bro. Like, he didn't want to go to Oregon, bro.
He didn't want to go,
bro. Like, he just needed the bread, bro. Yo, and like Stanford, like the tradition. I was at Stanford every summer. My dad used to coach basketball there, and like their football tradition was like, I didn't even really understand their football tradition was that serious until like I got a little older, like with Plunkett and all those guys, Elway. They have great training, and obviously the great games played against SC, great rivalry. Washington State, Oregon State, particularly Oregon State, like that was just always the fucking spoiler of every USC season, bro.
Every season, every season.
Oregon State, I'm just like, bro, like USC is probably gonna lose to them, bro. Like that's just how I feel, and not because they were better than us, because like they were just a spoiler, bro. We had to go out there to Corvallis and play those nasty Beavers.
Yeah, those stupid brothers. I don't want to say stupid, but the Jaquez guys, man.
Yeah,
Rogers. Those guys always were a pain in my rear end, dude. I couldn't stand
them. Yeah,
I hated seeing them, man. And then every year we'd go there. Remember with Sanchez, or I forgot what year it was.
One was with Sanchez. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one was with Sanchez. I think. Yeah, we could have had probably how many titles? More? Could we have won? We could have won a few more.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for those, if we had the current playoff
that
now,
era, those teams.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would just. I remember that Oregon game just killed me. The one with Sanchez, that one really hurt. I'm still not over that one.
Yeah, UCLA football is kind of a joke, bro.
Yeah, time to go. Time to go. You got to do something different, man. Deshaun Foster looks like.
And yo, it's turning. Yo, Deshaun Foster. Yo, the media is turning on Deshaun Foster right now, bro. Yeah. Live time, bro, because he's trying to not have people in practice. They're getting blown out at home. Nico is looking like, I think he might be taking some phone calls like, yo, Nico, you shouldn't
Nico, what were you thinking, bro? Nico?
You might get hurt, brother. Y'all just lost 45 to 7. Blah, blah. Like, yo, it's looking spooky for Nico and UCLA, bro.
If I'm Nico, though, I'm worried about the decisions they're making for him. Next thing you know, he might end up on the Bakersfield Renegades, dude. We don't know that, man.
Yo, by choice for real, bro. Like, it might get really spooky out there.
Yeah, he'll end up like on some Gavilan football. Who knows what team he'll end up on? But I think Nico's going to be moving on away from this team immediately. That is like, get him out of there. Yeah. But anyway, rest in peace, Pac-12. I got to see Arizona. I got to see SC play.
Pac-10, bro. Think about the Pac-10.
Pac-10, yeah.
That's when I saw way at Pac-10. You were probably watching the Pac-8, right? I don't remember Pac-8. I wasn't in the Pac-8 area, but I was definitely in the Pac-10 area.
Yeah. No, I got to see some good games on the road, like Arizona a couple of years with Caleb there. A few years ago there, I got to see that one, and You know, it was such a weird experience there. I mean, that campus was so amazing, man. There's so many fresh kills. I mean, gorgeous young ladies walking out everywhere. I mean, it was just amazing. But it was like it took me back to those days where I remember Playboy would have the edition, Ladies of the Pac-10 or whatever,
Oh, wow.
Okay, and Arizona would they'd have all of the schools and stuff. Those were the glory days of the Pac-10.
Hey man, shouts out Arizona State, bro.
Arizona State.
Oh, 2011.
That's another great school.
Bro. I was on that campus, #1 party school in America, and one of the greatest years of my life. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready, man. Let's. Oh, look at our records. We're tied.
Oh, we're tied up because you got me on that Boise game, and I got you on that Notre Dame game.
Oh,
yo, we gotta get this straight on camera right now. This is what I want from you. This is what I want from you. If I win after week 12, if I win, you have to get on camera. I'm gonna write you up a script. We're both in sales, and there's Medicare scripts, there's life insurance scripts. I'm going to write you up what I call a GOAT script. You're gonna have to read out. I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna type it up real nice and big and bold for you. You have to just prophetically tell the people, either on Instagram or on YouTube. We can figure out, maybe on Twitter. We'll figure out one of your mediums that has a nice little following, that Ramon James is the greatest of all time when it comes to basketball, with a straight face. And that's all I want from you. Now, you don't want me to put on Notre Dame stuff. So what do you want from me? What would you need me to be or need me to do when I win, our pick contest at the end of the
year? Okay. I want you to end up putting on a Larry Bird jersey, and I'll write the same thing. And I want you to give the reasons. I'm going to write down all the reasons why Larry Bird is the greatest small forward of all time. Okay. And I want you to go ahead and say something. Okay, I want you to read every single one and admit to the world that there's no better player. Hey, yeah, Mr. French Lick, Larry Bird, the greatest small forward of all time, folks. I want you to just give it your all and let everyone know how great he is. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull out my inner casino ace, Robert De Niro, and my sports predictions. And because
you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose. See, I'm not doing all that, but hey, you can do it. You feel me? I get it, bro.
Dude, I could not wear a LeBron. That would kill me.
I'm gonna get you right. Just let me know what you want. You want Cleveland? You want Miami? Or you want LA? Just let me know.
I don't want.
You don't have 3 options, bro. I'll let you know which one you're gonna pick.
Give me his.
I got a lot of LeBron stuff in here, bro.
Yeah. Give me one of his Space Jam jerseys or whatever.
No, we're not gonna do that, bro. This is very serious. You feel me? This is gonna be very serious.
No, you know what?
Very thorough. And we're gonna do it the right way, brother.
If I do have to, which I know I'm not, because I'm just gonna step my game up right now. I'm gonna go undefeated. Every pick I'm gonna pick it right this week, dude, because I'm gonna pull Larry Joe Bird, and I'm coming through right now. But you know what? If I had to go one LeBron jersey, it's definitely not the Cleveland one, because I can't stand that jersey. I can't stand the Heat jersey. I don't know. Can I wait to see this season? Can I wait to see when he bounces to another team probably a year before the season starts, dude, and goes to another winner?
Yeah, this is funny. Yo, WE, who's the GOAT? WE, who's the GOAT? I know B. Jones thinks I think LeBron is a GOAT, so we ain't got to worry about that. B. Jones definitely thinks LeBron's a GOAT. Nah, B. Jones thinks Kobe's a GOAT. It's okay.
Dude, the Millers,
the Millers is a Larry Bird fan.
Larry Bird. And, shouts out to Daniel Garcia.
I respect everybody, brother.
Ronnie Cloyd, all these guys out here that have been on chat. But you know what? I'll go with the Miami if I had to. And you know what? Do you want the white bird or the green bird? Because you're getting one of them.
Don't matter, bro. We're gonna have to wait and see. I don't care. See, I be respecting. LeBron fans are respectful, and we love the game. You feel me? So we respect everybody. We don't bow mouth everybody. But unfortunately, we have to defend the king because he's the most hated athlete of all time. For some reason, I don't know why. Great family man, raised by a 16-year-old mother, greatest scorer of all time. Just iconic human being, a humanitarian. But at the end of the day, bro still gets hate. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, Preston, I love you too much. I don't want to get into this, man, because
we're not getting into it. What everything I just
no. I'll tell you right now, because you know what? I respect the man for the accomplishments that he's had, but at the same time, those other guys. I don't think the young generation was, I mean, well, it is that you guys didn't get a chance to witness act like Larry in person and on TV with your own eyes, and to see the little things, man, the taps like that to a man over his shoulder, the out rebounding 2 7-footers in the finals, dude, to be able to bust out 60, dude, in people's face, to see Jordan be able to to only player in the history of basketball that was MVP, that led the league. It was all defensive team. I mean, the guy never lost in the championship. And we can go on and on. There's so many things there where LeBron, I just think, if you want us old guys to respect LeBron, then you know what? I want to see you go join Orlando, Atlanta, one of those up and coming teams. Take them on a deep playoff run, and you'll have my respect. I don't want to see this super.
I'm gonna say one thing, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic. LeBron came back 3-1, gets the greatest regular season team of all time. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. So let's we'll handle that. We'll handle that at the end of the year. It's all good. This is football season. This is college football season, bro. We're coming up on an hour.
Let's go. I'm not losing. This is my favorite. Yeah.
We're gonna get to these picks.
Let's go, Preston.
Somebody's gonna have to say something they don't believe in. So we're gonna get to these picks, man. So, man, this is tough, bro. You know, I got an angel and a devil on my shoulder, bro. I feel a way about this Illinois Duke game for some reason, bro. Darian Mensah, I feel a way. Something is telling me about this Duke fucking Illinois game, bro.
Yeah, I'll tell you where I'm going.
But I'm going with Illinois. Illinois at Duke. I'm going with Illinois. That's it, bro.
Okay. You know what? I'm going.
Remember what's on the line.
Yeah, man, I know. And you know what? I'm like Ace at Casino, dude. That's it. I'm calling all the shots, man, right here. I know I'm this upset right here. It's going to be a lot closer than people think. I can be wrong, but playing at Duke can be a difficult spot. It is a lot more difficult than what people think.
They're not playing the Cameron Indoor, bro.
I know, but still, I just think Illinois is. I don't know why I think they're so overrated. I really do.
They looked pretty good last week.
But you know what?
See how people in the chat are scaring me, bro. People in the chat are scaring me now, bro.
Yeah, because you know what? I got Duke at home.
You got Duke. I'm sticking with Illinois. You can pick Duke.
Yeah. I'm going to lose that one. I feel in my gut, but I have to. You know what? I'm willing to take the chance. Let's go. Next one, because I'm not wearing that LeBron jersey.
All right, bro. Iowa State. Now here's the thing. I'm playing Iowa in this game, but Mark Gronowski looked like a clown last week at quarterback, bro. He was throwing the ball 20 feet in the air. Like Mark Gronowski did not look like himself last week against University of Albany. Like
they were
going crazy last week.
They wanted him to replace Jaden, remember?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like I was looking at Gronowski possibly being the SC quarterback. I was like, this guy looks fantastic, but he's coming out. What, South Dakota State? But I think Iowa, bro, is gonna get it done. Like I think the run game and I think that defense is gonna upset Iowa State on the road, bro. So I got Iowa in this one.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go with Iowa State. I feel I'm a big Rocco guy, dude. Let me tell you, I believe in them. They're tough at home and they play good football at home. So let's go ahead and stick with Iowa State on this one.
Wow. Okay, Iowa State. All right. USF at Florida. I got Florida, bro. I think Billy's gonna have these guys right. I think Florida just has too much talent. I like what the coach at USF is doing, his recruiting strategy and whatnot. And you know, he seems like he's building a winner out there in Tampa Bay. But I got Florida.
Yeah, so I'll go with Florida on that as well. Okay. You know, the talent is just off the charts, man. They got a lot going there. South Florida, when you want to, I mean, they play good at home. If this game was at home, I'd probably be considering something else. But I'm sticking with the Gators on this. That's for my boy Andrew Edwards out there.
All right, so Arizona State at Mississippi State. I got Dillingham and those boys, you know, whooping up on an SEC bottom, low tier SEC opponent on the road. But I think it's gonna be a tough game. I think it's gonna be a little closer than we expect. But I got Arizona State.
Yeah, it depends on what time the game is, dude. I mean, what I have to look at that because that West Coast team's traveling.
I'm gonna look at this.
Yeah, look it up first, dude, and then I'll be able to tell you because if it's
I don't know why I'm helping my opponent, but but my opponent is also my friend, so whatever.
I love you, brother. I love you, man.
I'll help
and
him.
hey, let me get this right, folks. I am not a Celtic fan. I just love Kevin McHale and Larry Bird. Okay, now that I'm older, I respect them and I appreciate them. All right.
The game is at 7:30 p.m. By the way.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with ASU.
Okay.
If it would have been like a morning type game, then you know what, it could be different.
Okay. Michigan, Oklahoma.
Oh no!
See, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I think Oklahoma's gonna win this game. I got Oklahoma winning this game. I watched that Michigan game last week, and there were moments in that game where it was like a little iffy. I love the running back, that Bama run from Haynes. He's excellent. I think Oklahoma at home is just a different animal, bro. And they got Ott back there at the running back spot. I think Mateer is a really good quarterback. And I think Venables, leads his troops and he's able to get this one done against our, Big Ten friend in Michigan. But I think Oklahoma wins this game.
You froze up, Preston. You there?
I'm here. Am I frozen for you? Am I frozen?
Yeah, you're freezing up.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I will basically, if I have to go at... Oh, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, so if I'm going to pick Michigan between Oklahoma, I'm going to go with Michigan on this.
Michigan.
Just because I think Oklahoma... What's that? Are you there?
I'm here. Am I
sorry
good?
About this, guys. Okay, yeah, okay, you got it. Okay, yeah, you're good. So let's get back to it because now I'm going to change my mind. And I was going to pick Michigan, but I'm going
bro, pick Michigan, bro. What's the problem?
You know what? Yeah, I will because know what?
No,
even if I do,
you want to pick.
I'm going to come back. No, I'm going to pick Michigan because Underwood. I think he has that ability that, and that defense is still stout. They lack the wide receivers. But yet, I think Michigan has that type of play to kind of slow things down, ugly it up a bit, and I think they can handle that. Underwood, this is what he's going to show what he's made of. Because I got to tell you, dude, I don't say this a lot about a lot of quarterbacks, but man, did you see that guy when he threw that ball? That was phenomenal, dude. That guy, I was like, wow, I get to watch this live in a few weeks. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, so I'm going with Michigan.
He's nice. Am I good? Am I good to go? Am I clear?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay, so last one. Baylor at SMU. I got Baylor.
Yeah, I got SMU. I think SMU at home. They're really solid. I love their offense, man. I just the Pony Express. They'll always be the Pony Express to me. I love them. They're too unpredictable at Baylor. I just don't know what you're getting every week.
Okie doke, man. So this is what we're gonna do. We let me see. All right, so USC going up against Georgia Southern. I got USC winning this game 56-10. I think the Trojans are going to pull it out. I think we're going to see an even better performance from Wayman Jordan. That is my MVP on the offensive side of the ball. That's going to be my MVP of the game this week. And how do you feel about this game? Just a prediction of who thinks the MVP is going to be.
The MVP of this game will be you got Waymo?
I got Waymo, yeah.
Okay, I think the MVP of this game will be I'm going to go with offensive MVP, correct?
Yeah, just overall MVP.
MVP, yeah, it'll be Makai Lemon.
Makai Lemon, nice. Okay. What about a score prediction for this one?
Let's go 63-10, 63-7. I'll put that. I think the defense is going to shore up things and really put a lock and clamp on this offense. So I think they're not going to allow more than 7 points.
Awesome, man. So that is going to be the show for today, folks. Appreciate you everybody coming through here, man. Had a lot of fun today. We're going to continue to do this show week in, week out. And yeah, man, come up with topics, talk about these USC Trojans. And then we got week 2, another job, another opportunity to show how elite we can be as a team this season. And appreciate everybody for coming through, man. You guys are the best. Paulie, anything you got to say?
Yeah, I just want to say shouts out to Ronnie, to Tina, to Gil, to WE, to Millers, Brandon. I mean, the whole mix. Armando, my boy back home. Jeremy Dirks, all these people. My daughter, Jeff Rodriguez over here. So anyway, but I was just told I'm yelling in the mic, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm just hyped up, man. Sorry about
that. Yeah, man. Shout out Jeff Rodriguez. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, shout out Jeff. Yeah.
Came through.
No, hey, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys like the show, be sure to follow me on YouTube, Preston's Paradise, Fight on Preston on Twitter. Follow my man Paulie at
Calling the Shots with Paulie Walnuts, or Calling the Shots podcast, and with Paulie Walnuts on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all of it. Please, any subscribers would be greatly appreciated. I love you guys. I truly do, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys, man. Let's get after it today. Fight on. Let's go.
Fight on, brothers. Fight on. Let's handle it today.